In the distant future, humanity had finally united under a single government. The Earth Federation, as it was called, had brought peace to the planet after centuries of war. But the cost was high. Natural resources were exhausted, and Earth's surface was a patchwork of megacities and barren wastelands. To survive, humanity turned its gaze to the stars, searching for a new home. Deep space missions were launched, and soon colonies were established on planets in distant solar systems. But there was one mission that stood out: the Horizon Expedition. It was meant to explore the furthest reaches of the galaxy, beyond what was known. The expedition was a daring endeavor, involving a fleet of 12 massive ships, each carrying scientists, soldiers, and explorers. They were searching for a legendary world, a planet called Ishkara, rumored to be rich in resources and capable of sustaining life. The expedition left Earth with high hopes and vanished into the dark reaches of space. Decades passed, and the expedition was lost to memory, a myth told to children. But then, one day, a faint distress signal was picked up by a mining ship in the Outer Rim. It was an old Federation code, dating back to the time of the Horizon Expedition. The signal's source was deep within the sector known as the Veil, a region filled with spatial anomalies and violent storms that had swallowed many ships. Few who ventured into the Veil ever returned. The Federation, desperate for any trace of the legendary expedition, put together a new mission. This time, they sent their most advanced ship, the Nebula Spear, equipped with cutting-edge technology and a crew trained for every scenario. Leading the mission was Captain Ilara Voss, a veteran commander with a reputation for completing impossible missions. He knew the risks, but the chance to find out what happened to the Horizon Expedition was too great to pass up. As the Nebula Spear entered the Veil, the crew experienced a strange sensation, a distortion in time and space. Instruments went haywire, and the ship shuddered violently. Yet, after what felt like an eternity, they emerged into a calm pocket of space, and the distress signal's source became clear. It was a massive shipwreck, one of the 12 vessels from the Horizon Expedition. The name on the hull was barely visible: Starfire. Captain Voss and her team docked with the wreck, finding it eerily intact. There were no signs of life, but everything looked as if the crew had simply vanished mid-task. Food trays were left half-eaten, logs showed routine entries, and the ship's reactor was still functional. A search of the ship's archives revealed a shocking discovery: a final message from the Starfire's captain, warning of a great betrayal and a forgotten alliance. The message was abruptly cut off, and the crew of the Nebula Spear was left with more questions than answers. They decided to press further into the Veil, following a set of encrypted coordinates left behind in the Starfire's logs. What they found at the end of the journey was beyond belief: a hidden planet, shielded by a sophisticated energy field that had kept it hidden for decades. This was Ishkara. But Ishkara was not abandoned. As they descended, the crew saw advanced cities with towering spires and lush landscapes, a stark contrast to Earth's decaying cities. Upon landing, they were met by humanoid beings, tall and elegant, with skin that shimmered in the sunlight. They called themselves the Zynari. To the crew's astonishment, the Zynari spoke fluent Earth languages, explaining that they had been waiting for humanity's return. The Zynari revealed a truth long buried. Centuries ago, before Earth's recorded history, there was an alliance between humans and the Zynari. Both species had fought side by side against a common enemy, the Phage, an alien species that consumed entire worlds. But something had gone wrong. The alliance was broken, the knowledge lost, and humanity had forgotten. The Zynari had shielded their world, believing that one day humans would return to reclaim their place in the stars. Yet, there was a deeper secret. The Zynari showed the crew the remnants of the Horizon Expedition, who had arrived decades earlier. These survivors had chosen to stay, abandoning their mission to return to Earth. They had joined the Zynari, rebuilding the Forgotten Alliance in secret. But there was more. The Phage were not defeated. They had only been delayed, and their return was imminent. Captain Voss was faced with a choice: return to Earth with this incredible discovery, or stay and prepare for the coming storm alongside the Zynari. Torn between duty and loyalty, she decided to transmit a full report to the Federation before making her choice. But as the data was being sent, the skies darkened, and the air grew heavy with an ominous hum. A fleet of dark ships, like nothing the crew had seen before, began to materialize in orbit. The Phage had found them. The battle that followed was swift and brutal. The Nebula Spear and the Zynari defenses fought valiantly, but they were outnumbered and outgunned. In a desperate act, Captain Voss ordered her crew to evacuate to the surface while she stayed behind, using the Nebula Spear to deliver one final blow to the enemy fleet. The ship's reactor went critical, and with a brilliant flash, the flagship detonated, buying precious time for the survivors. In the aftermath, the Zynari offered sanctuary to the remnants of Voss's crew. The alliance was restored, but this time it was forged in fire. Earth was contacted, and a new era of cooperation began, with humanity and the Zynari preparing together for the inevitable return of the Phage. Captain Voss's sacrifice became a symbol of hope and unity, a rallying cry for the coming war. But as the story of the Forgotten Alliance spread across the galaxy, another mystery began to unfold. Deep within the veil, in a hidden chamber beneath the surface of Ishkara, ancient archives were discovered. Documents from before the First Alliance hinting that the Phage were not the true enemy. Instead, they were a creation, a weapon gone rogue, designed by a civilization even older than the Zynari, a civilization that had vanished without a trace. The survivors knew that their battle was far from over, and the real war, the war for the truth, had only just begun.